Have you ever had a client tell you that you're too expensive in a way that made you question everything about your pricing? One of my clients recently sent over her highest price proposal ever to a prospect. It was her first time implementing our pricing strategy, and she put her all into it. And she was really proud of what she put together and really excited to present it to her prospect. And she should be. She did an excellent job pulling everything together. After their meeting, she messaged me and she said her prospect, quote unquote, tore it apart, asked if I was serious about the price, and said there was no way she could justify hiring me, end quote. So, what happens next? What happened next might surprise you. I'm Shannon Mattern, pricing strategist for experienced service providers, consultants, and agencies. And this is Pricing Mindset Makeover, where we talk about pricing strategy and the psychology underneath so that you can make more from the incredible work that you're already doing. So, what would you do if you got a response from a client like that? That's probably your worst nightmare if you're like any of the thousands of service providers I've worked with over the years, especially if it's the first time that you tried to raise your price in a meaningful way. You might feel compelled to lower the price for the client just to get the yes. You might decide that, see, I knew I couldn't charge that much, and go back to your old prices, go back to undercharging and over delivering. You might think you need to get better at sales or better at overcoming objections. If that happened to you, your overall confidence might be totally rocked, causing you to knowingly or unknowingly start doing things to prove that you're good enough, like rebrand again, or redesign your website, or over deliver for your existing clients, or start adding more stuff to your packages, or take more courses, or go back and get another certification, stuff like that. When you get a no from a client, especially a vigorous, big reaction no, like the one my client got, it's very important to separate facts from feelings. Have you ever dated someone who was burned by a past relationship, and no matter what you do, they need you to prove to them over and over and over again that you're not going to screw them over? We did a debrief afterwards and we walked through the facts. This prospect had just ended a contract with another service provider who was charging even more than my client, and she was deeply disappointed in the results that she'd gotten. And her reaction to my client's price was about the broken trust with her current vendor. And it was never going to be a good fit either way, regardless of price. She needed my client to prove herself to make up for her current bad vendor, which would have resulted in pressure over delivering, scope creep. That client's reaction had nothing to do with my client's price and everything to do with her current situation. After our debrief, my client realized she'd dodged a bullet with this prospective client. She looked back and saw so many red flags before she even put a price in front of the client. And so she decided to trust the process for her next two proposals and not make this client's reaction mean that her prices were too high. And so she courageously did it again. And using our end to end package matrix strategy, she booked a $35,000 engagement and then a $42,000 engagement back to back in the same week. What if she would have made that first no, that worst case scenario of a no, mean that raising her prices wasn't possible? When you hear no, I can't afford it, it's too expensive, you're too expensive, how dare you charge that much? Please feel your feelings about it. But then you've got to separate fact from fiction. You're not for everyone. That's okay. You don't have to make up for other service providers' bad behavior. Not everyone is going to value what you do or think it's worth it. And not everybody needs to be able to afford to work with you. But their opinions don't mean that your prices are too high. So, if you're an experienced service provider, coach, or consultant in any industry, and you want to be charging more, but you're just not sure how, your next step is to go to shannonmattern.com and grab my high converting proposal template and learn more about our end to end package matrix strategy. And that is also where you can book a discovery call with me to talk more about how I can help you with your pricing. And if you heard something valuable today, please take a second to leave a rating and review. It helps us get in front of more service providers who need a pricing mindset makeover. And if you have a friend who's running a service-based business who needed to hear this today, please send this episode to them. And thank you so much for listening. And until next time, remember this: you're just one proposal away from the income and impact you work so hard to create.